to cover using the proposal worksheet inside the Leap platform, along with the shortcuts of putting the pricing in with making macros to fast track your estimating/proposal process. Inside a specific job, you'll see here we have forms and proposals. When we hit create, we have a bunch of options here. This training video specifically is going to cover the proposal worksheet, features, and the usefulness of them. Inside our form and proposal here, we have the ability to choose what we call a type, where we can then come in here and type in a material item. Here is where I can put a description if I see fit, along with a price and quantity and unit, then lastly, quantity. We also have the ability to add a second line item, which we'll say is labor. For, let's say, 10 squares, $30 an hour for 300, giving me a total of $800. This little cogwheel right here is how you can actually add things to the worksheet. If I wanted to apply a profit percentage, we can add that right here. And I actually will have the ability to go inside here and type in 30%. Now, if this is something you will be sending out to your customer, you want to make sure, hitting our cogwheel here, you have something called hide pricing. This will now show the customer just the total price at the bottom, so they're not seeing your profit percentage. If we hit save here, I can name this test 1. We will see we have a lovely proposal, which I can press, which is showing both our line items with our lovely signature and the ability for the customer to sign. If you're going to be using the same line items multiple times, say it's something you're frequently going to use, the best practice is to save the line items in your library so you don't have to come in and retype in the line items again. So to save any line items in your libraries, you want to hit your arrow at the top right if you follow my cursor. Initial stands for your name. And we're now going to go into settings. Inside settings, if you scroll down on our left, we have two options, materials and labor and pricing. Inside materials, this gives you the ability to preset some line items in here so you can easily grab them into a worksheet. So if I hit add material, I can come in here and type in, let's say, certainty landmark. The unit is square. We're going to say it cost me about $45. If you have more than one color, you can come in here and now type them in. This gives you the ability to choose it as a drop down so you don't have to remember all the colors at a later time. For labor, you have the ability to press labor here. We're going to go into the labor tab. We're going to hit add labor. I'm going to now say we're going to do 4 to 12 to 7 to 12 pitch shingle install. The unit is per square. We're going to say it cost me $30 to install that. And I hit save. If now I go back into a job, we have our first proposal saved. We're now going to make another one. But in this instance, instead of me typing the line items from scratch, I'm going to use preset line items in the back end. So if I go to type here and I go to materials, I come here. If I start typing something that is similar to an item in my library, the drop down will automatically pop up, letting you see that here. If we go into labor, same exact thing. If I start typing in anything that's in, I typed in pitch, it brought it right here. All you would have to do now is fill out the quantities. Let's make this a bigger roof. Let's say the 20 square roof. And then same exact thing from before. You can apply your profit if you choose to do so, and type in your lovely percentage. You always want to make sure you're hiding your pricing before you save that. So you have it all saved like this, and then you can hit save. Our color option, you see it's asking me to put the color in. It's now letting me choose one of those options you have now put in settings. If you wanted to add an option manually, you have the ability to do that by just clicking materials or labor or whatever type you want, and you can come in here and type in test item, whatever you wanted. It will then give you the ability to do that. And the last case here would be if you have a preset line item template that you want to use, you'll be using frequently, say you don't want to grab them each time manually, we have a templating system for line items specifically called macros. You can locate macros by going to your settings. You can search for it using our settings search bar or scrolling down to worksheets and finding macros. Macros are just preset line items, so you don't have to grab them manually. If we hit add macro up here, I'm going to change my type to an estimate proposal. We're going to say this is for roofing. I'm going to name this certainty. And now if I come in here, I can only choose items that are in my library. So I cannot come into the macros and type in an item that does not exist. You have to have it in your library first before the system will let you save it. If we hit labor here, I can then come in and now choose my labor. The nice thing about macros is if you change the price in your library, it will automatically change on the macro for you. So you only have to change the price in your pricing library and then all your macros are all good. With our test macro saved, if I go back into that job one more time, we're going to hit create, proposal worksheet again. We're going to see a blue button that says macros. The 2 is letting me know there's 2 items in here. If I hit select, it says select because you can combine more than one macro. I can now hit apply. Those line items have now automatically pulled inside, and I didn't have to grab them manually, which will save you a lot of time if there's certain estimates and proposals you do that use, say, the same 90% items. All you would have to do is delete the ones you don't need and add the ones you want to. When you fill out the pricing and your profit and hit save, you're all done. Actually, before I save, let me put in some quantities real quick. We'll apply a profit again. We're gonna make this 45%. And then I'm gonna hide my pricing. And we're good to go. So here are proposal worksheets. If you wanted to get it signed via email, 3 dots, email, send it to your customer and they can sign. This concludes our session covering proposal worksheets.